Hey, good morning guys, Spider Keith here, and it's been a while, it's been about 2 weeks, but we are here back with another video, and for this review I am particularly excited to show you guys this one-of-a-kind spectacular Spider-Man figure from 2008, for the simple reason that this one comes with an interchangeable Peter Parker head, and I don't think anyone has reviewed this particular figure yet, until this one that is, which is why I am fairly excited to explore this with you guys. So without further ado, let's get it on. So here we have the spectacular Spider-Man with the unmasked Peter Parker head. But before we begin, I want to give a big shout out to my fellow YouTuber Kim, going by the YouTube handle namely Miss Kim's Aesthetic Melodies. Link in the description below. Anyway, she's the one responsible for hooking me up to her dad's figure collection, and I'm glad that she did, because this is one of those things where you didn't know you wanted it till it was offered to you. Admittedly, this is a spur-of-the-moment purchase, but I'm glad I bought this anyway, purely for the sake of this channel's growth. So if you do appreciate the effort on my part, I do think I deserve your subscription going forward. So please go do that, so I can continue to sporadically feature more content of rare figures like this. Now that's a Spider Keith guaranteed promise. Starting this review off with the packaging, unfortunately LBC wasn't able to bubble wrap this, which, as mint and sealed box as it is, there's really not much value left in keeping this inside the box for any longer. So before we do, let's take a closer look at the design. There's Spectacular Spider-Man on the card, and I'll give it to them, the figure itself does look accurate to the cartoon serial, but funny thing is, when you take a look at the back, the product shot looks nowhere near the original series design. Same goes for the other characters in the lineup. I'm thinking these are concept designs submitted to Hasbro prematurely, but then the pencilers decided to change the design at the last minute, so Hasbro probably only had time to change the mask design, but left everything else the way they are, because this Peter Parker head looks nowhere near the cartoons. I'm not so sure though if the ones in this lineup ever made it through mass production, and personally I don't mind if they didn't, because I'm not the biggest fan of this Venom, with an oversized body, but with an incredibly shrinked head, which inadvertently reminds me of Pinhead Larry.
Who you calling Pinhead?
And before we take this out of the box, I gotta do some experimenting first, which I'm hoping you guys will love. So if you do, please do leave a comment down below. So this is what the Spectacular Spider-Man figure sounds like. Mint and sealed box. Spider Keith ASMR. And without further ado, let's seriously take this guy out of the box. ASMR aside, as far as the accessory goes, he only comes with this Zipline Backpack that has 2 suction cups attached. As for the overall aesthetic, it has a distinct cartoonish appearance, as it should, since this was derived from the cartoons to begin with. I'm glad that they gave us custom sculpted web lines even for the mask. So, just to show you guys how that looks, although I think I have shown this already in my ASMR section of this video, but hey, what the heck. So yeah, there you go. I'm not sure if the camera can pick that up, but trust me when I say these are sculpted web lines. It's kind of disappointing though, not really, but the spider insignia at the back is only painted on. I am impressed though about how the musculature went out, especially for the legs. It does give off the impression that this went straight out of the cartoons. It has that crystallized graphics feel, kind of like the ones you see in retro PlayStation games. So if this ever had a game, this is what it would have looked like. And as far as the articulation goes, there's not a lot to write home about that. It only has single jointed elbows, single jointed knees, no butterfly joints, no interchangeable hands, no ankle pivot. The diaphragm joint can only rotate at a full 360 degrees, which is impressive for its time, but it doesn't have that revolving swivel the way the other figures go. But I'll give it to Hasbro, it can split more than 180 degrees. So I can't even go on a stretch to say that it shares the same level of articulation as the standard Marvel Legends go. This is obviously Hasbro's experimental stage in action figure making, but I just don't get why they couldn't have just copied the molds that have come before this. Case in point, this Toy Biz Spider-Man figure is about 4 years this guy's senior, so it doesn't make sense that the newer one should have fewer points with which to articulate. For comparison's sake, here is Spectacular Peter Parker next to some more recent Hasbro releases. And he does stand a few inches too short compared to the rest, but that's understandable since he is a teenager back in the series. Overall thoughts, I'm giving Peter here a solid 9/14. As limited as his articulation goes, I feel like it doesn't drop from it being a spectacular looking figure. So that is it for the review. If you guys haven't done so yet, be sure to hit like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for future videos. Major announcement, by the way, I will be shifting this channel into an ASMR-themed action figure review, so expect to see more of that, hopefully in the upcoming videos. Again, this is Spider Keith. Thank you and God bless.